love it. All right, we got a bunch of people jumping on now. Teresa is here as well as Melinda Ash and a bunch of others. Earl Bell, thank you so much for joining. Hello, everybody. My name is Guy Berlando, C7 here with CILI By Design. And this Saturday training is going to be about how to help not only a brand new person, but also people that have been here for a while and they are looking to be able to take their people and be able to show their people what they need to do in order to get started here. So we're going to cover a breadth of information. The most important thing that I want to emphasize is to take notes. Make sure you got a notepad and pen so you can take down notes, because there might be stuff that you already understand, and that's great. There might be other stuff you've never heard before. You're definitely going to want to jot that down so that you can revisit it and get back with the person that you're working with so that you can get your questions and answered as well. And fill in those gaps, if you will. We're gonna talk about all of this, all right? And again, when you get into training, there's so much that we could cover, but I want to try to today to keep this centralized as to the brand new person getting started, as well as the person that's starting to build a team and how to help them, your people, now move forward. So that's kind of the target audience for this today. We're not going to dive deep into any certain one object or aspect of this, but we're just going to kind of give you a little bit of information on those particulars so that you have some tools at your hands and you know where to find some of this information to be able to help yourself and others move forward. We're going to talk a little bit about how to just dive right in and start making money, right? We've had people make thousands of dollars in their very first week here. Some people move slower, some people move faster. It's not a right or wrong. It's what you are looking for, or your people are looking for from this business. And understand it is a business, so it takes effort, right? This is not just sign up and all of a sudden, boom, the money starts flowing in. All right, so we want to help you start to transition that mindset into a daily little bit of attention to your business every single day, because that is going to pay huge dividends along the way. We're going to get into some of those steps, that you want to do right away. We're going to get into a little bit of the back office, like the sign up report, how to actually place people, because a lot of people come here and they don't know how to do that, right? They'll go to the holding tank like, I can't place anybody on my holding tank. So we're going to clear all that up as well. We're going to talk a little bit about strategy on placement. We're not going to get into too much strategy, because everybody that's working this business, the leader for your team, may have their own individual strategy of how to build their binary, how to build their team, and what's working best for them. So I don't want to dive too deep into strategy, if you will, cover that within your own teams, but I am going to give you a general overview of some strategy on placement and that, okay? And then we're going to dive into a little bit about the comp plan. This comp plan is, a lot of people come here having worked maybe other binaries or never worked a binary, and they're a little confused as to how ours actually works. We've covered this multiple times. I know Mr. Hager has covered it multiple times as well, but we're going to try to explain it in another way that hopefully is going to clarify this for you in great detail. So with all that being said, the very first thing I want to also say is that this is not a job. Brad Hager on the Wednesday founders call, he just said, when people join, the tendency in network marketing is to say, well, treat this as a business, not as a, not as a hobby, right? If you treat it as a business, it'll pay you like a business. Treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you as a hobby. But as Mr. Hager stated, most people have never owned their own business. They don't know what it means to run a business. And he says, treat it like a job. Show up, do your work, and like you're working a job. But the beautiful thing is that it is not a job. All right. It's a all volunteer army underneath you, right? Nobody has to be here. So inspiring your people is important. But when it comes to making money, look, I was a pilot for many, many years, right? I flew F-16 fighters. It takes a lot of training before you let somebody loose solo into an F-16 fighter jet. I flew for Southwest Airlines. It takes a lot of training and time and effort upon those pilots to be able to be sitting in that cockpit. I mean, you do not want to have Southwest or United Airlines hire somebody off the street that's never flown an airplane before, put him in the front seat and say, okay, enjoy, right? That wouldn't be so good for everybody. But with this business, that's exactly the mindset you want to have. Hey, I just joined. What do I need to do? Show me what I need to do and let me go out and do it. Those are the people that find huge successes here. Then you have the other mindset, which is kind of like me, right? I got to figure everything out ahead of time. I got to know all, how to cross the T's and dot the I's. I need to know all the analytics. I need to know exactly how that compensation plan works. I need to know how the back office works so that because if I bring somebody on, I need to be able to teach them. And I am telling you right now, that is the absolute worst mindset you can have. And if that is you and that's your makeup, like I said, I've learned a lot over the last 25 years in this industry, but a lot of people do have that mindset. I'm telling you, my suggestion to you is to check that at the door, leave it aside, and trust the person you are working with what needs to be done right now. Another thing that Mr. Hager covered on the Wednesday Founders Call this past Wednesday, which was dynamite, I highly encourage you to listen to that recording, was that I lost my train of thought. That you don't need to know everything in order to get started. All right. And actually it can be a hindrance. It's almost on a need to know business basis, right? Well, how do I place people out of the back office? Well, do you have anybody to place out of the back office yet? And if you don't, then you don't need to know that yet. When you have people to place out of the back office, we'll teach you that part, right? That's kind of the mindset you want to have. Now, we are going to show you how to do that here, but just understand what you want to do is get into action ASAP. And the number one thing as far as getting into action is getting your team bonus going. And that is sponsoring on your left side and your right side. So I want to show you a couple things here. I'm going to go into shared screen. And the first thing I'm going to show you is this. This is something that my wife and I created. And again, I'm not getting into strategy. So if your team members that you're working with have a different philosophy about all this, then that's totally fine. I'm going to share with you what we do. I know the leaders over there in Europe, talking with Daniel and Davide, they do the same thing. When they get a new person started, they want to help them get their first two people immediately, as quick as possible. Now, when we talk about the power of duplication, we're talking about getting those two people in your first month, but why wait a whole month to get your first two people? I encourage you to do that in your first few days of getting started with us. Get a person on your left side and a person on your right side. All right. The people that you're working with are going to show you exactly how to do that, and that'll be wonderful. The other thing I'm going to cover right now is, if I can find it here, in your back office. This is happens to be my mom's office, this is one I'm going to use for this training today. But in your back office, you have resources right here at the top. And if you click on resources, all the way down at the bottom on the left side is trainings. And in trainings, there's some really good stuff here. There's this memory jogger list here that you can call up. You've got down here at the towards the bottom, you got the CILI What to Do First sheet. And I'm just going to show you this. This is the company's CILI What to Do First sheet. This is what Brad Hager has used for many years. We have taught and trained this over the years. It's a lot of great information on here as well. And down here, if you're not aware of CILI, check out CILI.com. This is still working. And this is Brad Hager doing the presentation. Now, this is old. It's still back from when we first started the company, so it doesn't have anything about ageless on it, but it is a viable place to learn how to share this plan and to learn some from the owner what he feels is very valuable regarding our company and our business plan, if you will. All right. The other thing, did I just X out of that? Let me see here. No, I didn't. On the as far as getting yourself started, also what's really important is to make sure that you are getting your folks onto the CILI, the Verb app, excuse me, the Verb app here, and you're getting them on Telegram. Whether your team is using Telegram or not, that's fine, but the company is. So this is the way the company will push down information. And then the Verb app, look, the company is paying this for you. This is how you send out your samples and whatnot. So you definitely want to make sure your people are getting both on the Verb app and Telegram. As far as admin type stuff, in the very beginning, that's it. Help them get their two people. They don't need the Verb app and they don't need Telegram to be able to do that. But then the admin part of it is for sure at some point you want to be able to get them on the Verb app so they've got all those tools available to them, and that they're on the Telegram so they're getting the information flow from the company as well as possibly your individual team members. So those are the really, really big things right there. If you're brand new, that's it. This training is done. That's all you need to know, right? That's the need to know at this point if you just got started with us. Get your two people, get on Telegram, get on the Verb app, and then take it from there. And then as you're growing and learning more, your people will help you. All right. I will dive into also telling or mentioning, I should say, having your why and writing out your why. Why are you doing this business? Write out the vision that you see yourself in a couple of years from now, in a year from now, in 6 months from now, down to 3 months, even this month. Where do you want to close out the month of March? You know, the company's got an amazing promotion going on right now. Are you going for it? And if you need to know where that is, go to Telegram. The company channel will explain it all to you. All right. So, and that there's that. All right. Now, I'm going to go back into, I didn't close it out. Hold on. I got stuff all over the place here. Okay. My apologies here. Okay. So if you go back into your back office here, or if we go back into the back office, the next thing I wanted to cover. So when you first log in, this is going to be your dashboard. All right. Um, we're not going to get into all this right now. We've done other trainings before, and I can do another training, but we are going to touch on it as far as the rank, because the rank is really important. And that's what we're going to focus on, is why is the rank so important for you? If you would like to make sure that your profile, your email is all set up correctly, that's all the way over here at this far right icon. And there you got my profile. You can edit your picture in here. And that's pretty much all you need to worry about on this portion. You just want to make sure your information is correct, especially the email, so you are getting the email traffic from the company. So let's say you got your two people. All right. So you're brand new and you got your two people. Where do you see them? Now, go to organization here, and you're going to go down to the holding tank. All right. In the holding tank is where you're going to see the new people that you signed up. They will be there. If you go right into the sign up report, you will see everybody that's been signed up in your organization. And that is also going to cover spillover, which we're not going to get into. So like here, you can go to March. Under my mom, there's been 16 total signups so far. She's got 6 customers, 10 members on the left side, right? She's not building. These are just spillover. That means people she didn't personally bring in, but other people have brought in, and she gets the benefit for it from those team legs. All right, that volume. So that's going to add to that. One thing about the sign up report, if I go back in or into this sign up report, if I click on, should just go back into an older one, but it's building. We go in here, there's there's a caveat to all this. Let me just go in back into someplace here. I'll go to March 10th. Okay. And if you see, there's Laura, good job, Laura. If you go in here, and what you might not see, if you sign somebody up personally, you won't see anything here in the sign up report. And the reason is because the sign up report lets you know what's already been on the where the person's been placed, whether it's on your left side of your team bonus or your right side of the team bonus. Because they're in your holding tank here, they haven't been placed yet, so they're not going to show up on that sign up report. That is a question we get quite often, actually. Hey, I just signed somebody up and I don't see them. And that would be the reason why, because they haven't been placed yet. Now, as far as placement goes, You have until Sunday night at midnight to place people that are in your holding tank into your binary tree. So what does that look like? Let's go into organization. You go to graphical downline. And in graphical downline, you can start to see what's been built out. All right. You can see my mom isn't building, so her right leg has nothing in it. All right. Her left leg has got some stuff going on, and then people underneath got some people underneath her as well. You also know, if I can bring your eyes all the way over here to the far left, you know what, maybe see if this annotate would work. No, maybe not. Nope, I don't want to do that. Okay, never mind. They changed this also. I don't know how it works. If I could gravitate your eyes over to the left side, though, you see how this says binary tree. And this is something we're going to get into, because if you press that or click on that toggle, you'll see there's also sponsor tree. All right. And we're going to talk a lot about this here in the upcoming moments. But right now it automatically comes up in binary tree. Binary tree meaning the left and right legs of the team bonus. The team bonus is just one way that we get paid. All right. But it's beautiful because it's also the largest payout that the company gives. And it's because it leverages, because you get spillover. People from above you, like my mom might sponsor somebody in underneath her. People that have been brought in by other people may sponsor. That's all spillover volume, what we call spillover volume. And I'm going to talk about it again, just trying to pre-framing a little bit of this language to get you familiar with it. And that is all volume that counts towards the what? Team bonus, which is what? Just one way that we get paid. If I switch this over to sponsor tree, you can see, and we just got some, Disney characters in there. Thank you, Marcia, for doing this for us. You can see my mom, and then this is how the sponsor tree is laid out. It is not left and right legs. It's even maybe show left and right, but it has matters nothing about left and right. All this is people that my mom has sponsored, and then they get placed down here. And we're going to call this the second level. My mom being the first level, this would be the second level. If Jasmine was supposed to was to sponsor somebody, then that would go underneath Jasmine. This would go straight down from everybody that Jasmine sponsored on down, and they sponsored Pink Panther, same thing. Mickey Mouse, same thing. Donald Duck, same thing. All right. So the sponsor tree, your person will show up in the sponsor tree right after sponsoring, because left and right legs, it doesn't matter. So if you're thinking, or you just signed somebody up and you're not seeing them, this is one way to go and see them. You go into graphical downline, change it from binary to sponsor tree, and you will see them immediately. All right. Let's see. We're talking about placement. All right. So let me go back, change this back to binary. When you have somebody in your holding tank, it's going to say place from holding tank. A lot of people will try to place out of the holding tank. If I go back into organization, go to holding tank, you'll see these people here, and it looks like you can place it. Well, in the very beginning, you could, but the company was very smart, because we had a lot of people putting people in the wrong place. All right. So what they did is they negated being able to place people out of here. And now you've got a picture, so you know exactly where you're putting this person. All right. For instance, if I want to place Donald Duck as my mom's first person on the right side, I click on that place from holding tank. Now I can pick whoever I want to go on that right side. Where are they going to go? The ID number was 1032, right? If I go back to here, you can see my mom's ID number is 1032. And they're going to go on the right side. So by clicking on that available from holding tank in that box, then it's automatically going to go there. So it's trying to make this as simple as possible to remove making mistakes as much as possible. Because here's the thing. Once you place a person, they're locked in. The company in the past may have been able to move people for you, but they have come up, the company is growing so big now. We've got thousands of people joining on a monthly basis. If everybody was making mistakes and asking people to get moved all over the place, there's no way the company can do it. And it's not fair to other people, because then other people underneath and blah, 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 blah. It becomes a big mess. So it behooves you Before you ever place anybody, especially if you're brand new, make sure you're working with the person you're working with and go over this with them rather than trying to figure this all out on your own. There's also a strategy in how to build the binary. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to go into all great details on this right now, but understand there's some basics. Because you have the left and the right leg on this team bonus, and we're talking about the team bonus now, what we want to do is kind of keep the two teams separate. And I'm not going to go into all the reasons why, but just take my word for it. So people working on your left leg and the people working on your right leg, they're kind of like your two individual teams. They don't really have a whole lot to do with each other. All right. That being said, people that know one another, you want to try to keep them on the same leg unless they hate each other, which I've had family members, believe it or not, that did not want to be in the same line of business. So there you have it. You just never know, right? So you want to make sure you're fully aware of the people you're working with and have some discernment and some awareness as to how and where you're placing these people within your binary tree. Again, or binary team legs. Again, you're going to want to work with the person that you're working with because they've got more experience at doing this. And that will help alleviate a lot of errors. Again, because if you put your sister and your brother on two different legs and you're like, oh no, I should have had them together. Guess what? You placed them. We're not going to move them, or the company is not going to move them. So they are now on two different legs of business. And that is not the best in building a binary. Also for friends or acquaintances. Now, if you have somebody that lives in Florida and somebody that lives in Chicago and they've never met each other, those would be fine putting on different legs, right? Because they don't know each other and they're probably never going to work together either. And so that's something to keep in mind. So hopefully that all makes sense. So when we go back to placing people, I'm just foot stomping this because guess what? It's important, right? If I'm mentioning it more than once, it's probably important. And so this is really important that you know where you want to place this person before you actually place it. So strategize with the person you're working with before you even get to this stage. All right. So you already know where you're going to place Donald Duck. And we said we're going to place Donald Duck on my mom's right. So I click on Donald Duck. And Donald Duck auto-populates right here. Who do you want to place, right? I click down here in the holding tank on Donald Duck. Donald Duck goes up here. Place selected members. Click on that, and it's going to say, are you sure this is what you want to do? So there's another catch just to make sure you're placing the person correctly. Confirm, continue. All right. Notice Donald Duck is no longer in the holding tank. I'll go back to the graphical downline tab here and refresh. Now Donald Duck is on my mom's right side. Does that make sense to everybody? Now you can see my mom's got a group on her left team leg, and she's just started her right team leg. Another strategy that we teach, you can do whatever you want, but you're talking with people that have made a lot of money with a binary, to include Brad Hager, over $30 million. What we teach is to build your outside right leg and your outside left leg. All right. In other words, I would not place Mickey Mouse down here under Kathy's inside or Kathy's left leg. I personally, or my mom in this case, just think of this as me in this for this. I am only, or you are only going to place people on your far left or your far right legs. All right. You're not going to place somebody that you have personally sponsored on an inside leg. I'm not going to go into the reasonings for that. That is a basic strategy in building a binary that is pretty much universal from people who understand how to build a binary. All right. Some people will come here and say, hey, I want to help Donald out. So I'm going to place a person on his left side and a person on his right side of my personally sponsored members. I highly recommend don't do that. I highly recommend work with the person that you're working with and have them explain why you don't want to do that. So your personals should either go on your far outside right or your far outside left, never on an inside leg. All right. So I'm not going to place one of these individuals down here on the left leg because this is actually an active leg with other people there. But if I wanted to place somebody at the bottom left of my mom's leg, you see this little box right here? I can click on that. That's got a lot of information. I can find all the rep details. I can find out who sponsored my mom and those kinds of things. I can also jump to the bottom left or bottom right leg. If I go to the bottom right, obviously it's just going to go to here. But if I was going to want to place somebody at my mom's far bottom left leg, I could click on this right here and bam, it's going to take me all the way down to the very last person that was sponsored on my mom's left leg. Now I could go from place holding tank here, and I'm not going to do this, but I could now pick Mickey Mouse and put him over there, right? So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to go back to the top. So I click on this and I can set as top or back to home, excuse me. And I'm back up at my mom's. So that's a little navigation there. What I will do is I want to keep Donald and Mickey together, right? So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to pick on Mickey. That's going to the right of Donald Duck. That's good. Place selected members. Are you sure? Confirm and continue. And now if I go back into that graphical here, I hit the refresh key and boom, now you can see Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. I go again, I've got two more people in my holding tank. I'm going to keep I'm going to go Jasmine next. And again, how you order these people, that I'm not going to get into tonight. There's also a strategy behind that. Who you're going to put in first, who you're going to put in underneath. There's a way to leverage your holding tank. I've got a whole training on that as well. You got 4 people in your holding tank. You call somebody up that you've been working with, but they haven't started yet. You could say, hey, Bill, I got 4 people in my holding tank. I'm going to put 4 people in your business. If you get started with a pro pack right now, I know you've been hemming and hawing. Now's the time. Let's go. Give them a strong call to action. Chances are they will get started if they're already in process. And then you would put Bill in first, and then you would put Donald in the rest. Anyhow, that's a whole nother training. I'm just letting you know, like I said, you could go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole with this because there's just so much to learn. And again, you're not being a pilot day one, right? All you're doing is if you're brand new, getting your 2 people, getting on Telegram, getting your Verb app, and then let's put some people in your holding tank, and then we'll cover more specifically with the person you're working with as to the strategy behind that. But if I put Jasmine in, confirm, continue to the right of Mickey Mouse, that's perfect. I go back here, refresh. Oops. Excuse me there. And refresh. Now you see Donald, Mickey, and Jasmine. Okay. So I think you kind of get the idea with that and how that all works. And if you have any questions, obviously write it down and get back with the person that you're working with. So let's see. I think I covered all that. Spillover, again, is basically in the binary, you got the left and the right legs. And if there's somebody above you that sponsors, remember, they only have those first 2 positions to fill as well. So if they sponsor somebody new, then they got to go in underneath somebody, just like I was showing you, like my mom. And then, there's thousands of people down that left leg of that example I just showed you. And then my mom sponsors somebody new, they got to go all the way at the bottom. Well, then that's spillover for all those people that are in that leg of business on that left side. So hopefully that kind of makes sense as well. Let's see. One of the things I will bring it up that Mr. Hager teaches, and we teach amongst our members as well. Primarily, we will put the family members on the weaker leg, the non-common leg, what I like to call the inside leg. But you got a left and right mat differs for everybody. But the one leg is going to be common to people above you. That'll be the spillover leg, if you will, as well. And then the other leg, you're solely responsible for. Let me just go back so I can have a picture to show you. So my mom's leg, in this case, her common leg happens to be her left leg. That just means that the people above her, if they're going to sponsor somebody new, and they're going to put them on their left side, it'll go down my mom's left side. Remember, somebody above my mom will not put somebody on my mom's right leg. In this case, my mom's inside leg or right leg would be her, or inside leg would be her right leg. Okay. And so nobody above her is going to place there, just like my mom's not going to place somebody, down here on an inside leg. This being an outside leg, this would be the inside to this leg. This would be an inside to this outside leg. Again, that's my terminology I like to use. It keeps it really simple because Donald Duck's left and right is different than my mom's, or different than David's here. All right. David's common leg is his left leg. Here you can see Donald, Mickey's, and Jasmine's, their common leg is the right leg. So be careful when you're speaking with somebody about left and right legs that they understand we're talking about the common leg, and the pay leg is what the company uses, the lesser leg, which is generally going to be the inside leg, not always. But we tend to put family members down the inside leg or down the non-common leg. That is what Mr. Hager teaches, and we kind of teach as well. There's nuances to that. So again, you want to work with the person that you're working with to help you understand why you want to place people where they're placed. That's just, I can't explain that enough. All right, we're going to shift gears. So now you got to get two people. You got to get on the Verb app, and you want to get on the Telegram app as well. And that once you sponsor two people or more, hopefully, right? You know how to place them. So what I want to do is I'm going to shift gears and go into the comp plan just a little bit. We're not going to go deep into this. I've got other trainings on that. And if you would like those, they're on YouTube. Just let me know, or let the person you're working with know, and we can get that to you. I have a YouTube channel. It's called CILI Guy, and I've got a lot of trainings and stuff on there that it's free to everybody. I don't care, right? I want to help everybody be successful, whether you're on my team or not. In shifting to the comp plan, I'm going to show you where you can find the chart first. There's several, not lots, but there's several different places where you can get that. Let's close all that out, and we're going to end up back on the dashboard here. Okay, so you log in. One place you can find it is under resources. All right, it is under, should have looked this up ahead of time. That's not it. General. And we moved it. Trainings. Oh, well, I should have looked this up ahead of time. It's in here somewhere. I promise you. But is it under all? Policies, procedures. There is the bulk order program as well. All right. See, you don't have to be an expert in order to make money here, right? Policies and procedures, it's really important. They added some new information to that as well. Wow. I'm not sure exactly where it got moved to, but I know it's in here. I know where it is in German. In German, it's right here. All right, there. And that's one way you can find the chart. I guarantee you it is back there somewhere. I apologize. I should have had that ready to go. But the easier place to find this, if you just go into CILIByDesign.com, you go to opportunity, and here's prosperity plan. All right. This little 7-minute video is old as well. It doesn't cover anything about, or I shouldn't say it's old, but it's from the very beginning. It's very good. It's just 7 minutes. It gives you a brief overview of what's going on with the comp plan. Then here it is abbreviated, the comp plan abbreviated, the 10 ways that you get paid with a little bit of verbiage. But then down here is the chart. And from here, you can actually download the chart. I highly recommend everybody has this chart available to them at a moment's notice. So, and that means, i.e., print it out. All right. Have it printed out, keep it with your journal, with your CILI business, and be able to access this very easily, because as you start growing a team, you're going to want to know what you need to do to help them make rank, to be able to make more money from the 10 different ways that we are paid. So again, that was at the regular CILIBydesign.com. You go to opportunity, prosperity plan, scroll all the way down, and you can download the chart right there. Okay. So this is the chart downloaded. And we're not going to go through all this. I have another training again that goes in great detail, breaks this down. And by the end of that training, you really understand this chart. And once you understand this chart, you understand how our prosperity plan really works, and it's powerful. But where we're going to start with this chart is not at the top. We're actually going to start down here with rank qualifications. Rank qualifications is so important. The way I would recommend people think about our comp plan is it is a unilevel with a binary attached to it. And if you think about this as a unilevel first, because that's what the rank is based on. So if you're a C nothing and you're trying to get to C3 or C4, why is that important? Well, if you're a C4, you're making more money from the different bonuses than you are as a C3. A C5 makes even more, right? So this is to help you understand that how to make the rank, because it is so important to everything else that goes on with our prosperity plan. The sponsor tree volume. Remember, we switched that graphical downline from binary tree to the sponsor tree. And I showed you the different characters width-wise. That's the unilevel. That is sponsor tree volume. So everything that includes you and all the people you sponsor, all of their customers, all the people they sponsor and their customers is all part of your group, i.e. group volume. Sponsor tree volume is the same as group volume. You'll see it in the back office labeled as both. So this unilevel, the group volume, acts as almost like an umbrella to let you know how much you're going to make from all the other bonuses. And there is 8 ongoing bonuses, okay? Rank determines how much you earn. Rank is determined by 5 requirements. Your auto ship, your customer requirement for those in the US, how many members you have, the volume that you've created through that group volume, and the split. All right. This is what it looks like at the bottom left of that prosperity chart. Your monthly personal sales business volume. If I go into this next screen, you're going to see 50. If you're on the easy order, your bottle of Swish and your free spray. So make sure you're on auto ship. Another thing that you can do from that sign-up report, which I didn't get into today, is you can see whether or not a new person in your organization signed up on auto ship. And if they didn't, or the easy order. And if they didn't, you want to get back with the member that signed that person up and go, hey, I just noticed, hey, congratulations, you got a new member, but I also noticed they are not on the easy order. Was that a mistake or was that on purpose? You know, did that get missed? You know how it is on that second page, it can be missed very easily. So you want to identify that, because the easy order is the lifeblood of your organization. The comeback volume, you do the sale one time, you get paid on it over and over again. That is your easy order. Now you're truly in business. And I can just share with you, for my wife and I, having been in this industry for well over 20 years, we have never experienced residual passive income like we have with this company. And why? Because this amazing product that the Hagers have brought to the marketplace works and people enjoy it. It's easy to use, it's affordable, and they stay on it. So you want to encourage people to get on the easy order right when they sign up. And I will tell you, it's a lot easier to cancel the easy order if they want to get out of it than to add it later, because when you add it later, you got to get the credit card. You got to put the credit card information in again. So it's much easier. Just do it when they're signing up and you're golden. Now, if a person's auto ship monthly personal sales business volume doesn't run, then it's not 50 BV to qualify for that month. It is now 65. All the auto ships run on the 28th of the month. The last day you can adjust an auto ship to run then is on the 27th. So the 27th is even more important than the 28th, because once the 28th comes, it's now the 28th, you cannot change or have an auto ship run in this month or in that month. All right. The last day you can change an auto ship is on the 27th to have it run the following day, which is the 28th, which is the last day they can run. So if you have a member and you need one more member here in order to be your next rank and their auto ship didn't run, they now have to place a 65 BV order, or you need to sponsor somebody new to be order to get that that extra member in there that you were trying to get. All right. So that's where that comes in. The customers US, active personal customers, that's this next line. The number equals the rank up until C4. After that, it never increases. So the max you only have to have here in the US as customers is 4. If you're going after the 2 bonuses that we get extra pay on, the number 9 and number 10, which is the fast start retail bonus and the fast start business builder bonus, those 2 bonuses are only valid in your first 28 days of business. So from the day you sign up, good to pull out the calendar, count out 28 days. By that point, you have to hit each one of those bonuses if you're going for it. I recommend the business builder fast start bonus unless you're just huge into retail, because the business builder fast start bonus is going to do several things for you. It's going to make you money. All right, which is great. Yeah, it means, and in order to make money here, understand the only way you can make money is to help other people get on our product and feel healthier. So it's not just about making money. Obviously, it's a win-win, right? We're also benefiting other people with great products, and if they're looking to make some extra money, you can do that as well. They can do that as well. All right. So it's not just about the money. But the 4 customers is all you're required to have here in the US, and it never goes up from there. And that's a beautiful thing. All right. And that plays into a lot of other aspects of our comp plan. Again, I'm not going to get into, but just understand it's powerful. If you go after that business builder, this is what I started to say. If you're going after that business builder fast start bonus, you're going to get your 4 customers. You're going to have your 4 members. You're going to have the more than likely the volume to at least be a C3, if not a C4, just by going after that bonus in your first 28 days. So if somebody is really excited about making money here, that is a bonus you definitely want to foot stomp. The next one here is qualified personal sponsored members. It equals the number in the rank. All right. So you got to have 1 member to be a C1, C2. It's got to have 2 members. And in this is a caveat, it has to be on the left and the right in order to get the team bonus, right? To be qualified as a C2, they do have to be on the left and right. C3, 3 members, C4, 4 members, 5 members on up. By the time you get into C4, C5, trust me, this is no longer even a player. You're going to have way more than 4 or 5 qualified members generally. All right. The next one down here is volume. And again, this is that sponsor tree volume. And that's this line right here. As you can see, the requirement goes up as the rank gets higher. The highest rank we have right now is Davide. He's a C11. All right. We do not have a C12 yet. That's still open. All right. Davide is below Daniel, who's below Sarah. All right. And Sarah is at the top of everybody. And so that just also shows that this is a very powerful binary. It doesn't necessarily matter where you're placed. It's a matter of how you are building out your sponsor tree. That is more important than your left or right legs, which is another beautiful thing. When you get into, let's kill this for a second, because I'm going to talk a little philosophy. Some people come here into, because it's a binary, but it's a different binary. They come into a binary, man, I want to be on the power leg. I want to be on the runaway leg. Well, that's great. You can be placed there. But if you're not building out your sponsor tree, you're not going to be making any big money because you're not making rank. You might have all kinds of volume going down that one leg, but unless you're building out your sponsor tree, you're not going to be in the big money. That's why people like Davide being below Daniel is making more money than Daniel. All right. Because Davide built out a bigger sponsor tree leg. And you can see when you get into the sponsor tree volume, 1 million in volume per month. That's a lot of bottles of swish, folks. All right. So he's built a very large organization. you'll see, let's go back and bring it back down to earth for the average person that's just getting started, right? C1's 200, C2's 600. We want to help you get to C2. Sponsor that person on the left, sponsor that person on the right, bring them on, help them be successful. Eventually, we want to help them start bringing in people as well. But if you do that and you got your 2 customers, you got your 2 members and 600 in volume, what is that? A pro pack is 675 in volume as of right now. I know these packs are about to change, but it's 675 in volume right now. You sponsor one with a consumer pack, one with a pro pack, you got your 600. You sponsor 2 with networker packs, you got your 600. You get sponsor a networker pack, an intro pack, and you got your customer volume, depending on what that is, you'll get your 600. So getting to C2 is pretty easy. C3, even though you have your 3 members and 3 customers, you may fall short of this 2,000 in volume, depending on how they came in. If you brought 3 people in just on consumer packs, then you're not going to have the volume, right? 67 times 3 is not 2,000 plus another, 17 here and 50 there for your customers. You're still going to be far short of the 2,000. So that's where this sponsor tree volume starts becoming into a player. Same thing with C4 and then C5. You can see it's 15,000 here for C5. Another way to think about our prosperity plan is about helping other people. We've got that mentor bonus in here as well. If you help 2.5 people become C3s, you're a C4. If you help 3 people below you become a C4, you become a C5. And then it's just help 2 people become a C5, you got a C6, and on down the road. So I love the way that the simplicity of our comp plan is set up. Helping people get to C2 is simple. It is not very difficult if you get them into action right away while the fire's hot. Get them to sponsor their 2 or 3, 4 people, get them to C2. You do that for 3 people, you're going to be a C3. You do this for, like I said, 3 people, and you're going to be a C4. So that's a beautiful thing about our comp plan that I love. And then let me just talk about the split real quick, because this is the other gotcha. And again, this is not for the brand new person, all right? This is more for now the leaders that are bringing people up, or people that just want to understand the comp plan a little bit better. Down here, you have max BV per sponsor tree leg. Remember, we got the left and right leg for the team bonus. That's not what they're talking about here. They're talking about Donald, Mickey, Jasmine, Pink Panther, and my mom's example that we're going straight across, and then what they build straight down. That's a sponsor tree leg. I also like to call it a column to try to alleviate using the word leg, which can get people confused. So in a sponsor tree column is from Mickey Mouse all the way down that Mickey builds. That means Mickey sponsors Bill, Jill, Susan, Mary, and on straight down, right? They just go straight down underneath Mickey. Where this comes into play starts at C4. At C4, you need 5,000 in volume. Now that 5,000 can be a collection of all the different people that you sponsored on that sponsor tree leg and everything below you. However, there's a caveat, and that's this caveat right here. The max that can come from, say, Mickey Mouse's column is 70% of 5,000, which is 3,500. 3,500 in business volume, group volume, can come from one leg. In this case, Mickey's leg. That's it, or column. The rest of the 1,500 has to be a total of the other people that you have brought on board and the people below them. And I've got another example here to show you. So this becomes a big player. People go, they look in their back office and they say, hey, I got 6,000 in group volume, but I am only C3. It's showing me a C3. Why am I not a C4? Well, because the majority of that volume, 4,500, is coming out of one leg of business. You don't have this, what we call a split, and so you're not a C4. Let me show you another place where you can see this. If I go back into the back office, all right, I got to log back into my mom. And if I go in here, I mentioned earlier I was going to come back to this circle, right? This isn't going to be a great example because it's my mom's. But let's just say you're trying to get to C4. All right, that's where the split becomes a player. There's different ways to see your volume. Down here, you can see it as well. Last 3 months sponsor tree volume. All right, you can see it right here. This is not, just understand, this is not real time. It updates 3 times a day. So you're trying to make rank at the end of the month. You just sponsored a pro pack. I should be C4 and I'm not seeing the volume here. It's because this only updates 3 times a day. You can see it real time over here under commissions, volumes. You can switch this from binary tree to sponsor tree, and you can see it right here. This volume here is real time. You sponsor a pro pack, 30 seconds later, you come in and check this commissions volume sponsor tree, and this will reflect that. That's how you know. Do you have the split? Well, then you got to do some math. It'll all be over here, okay? But the easier place, the computer is going to do all this for you, is what I'm trying to, is what I'm getting at. If you come in here, these dots down here, you can change the rank. I change it to C4 and I click on view requirements. This right here, this sponsor tree volume takes into account that split, that 70%. So if you feel like you've got 6,000 in sponsor tree volume this month, but you're still only a C3, come here and it'll show you that you only got, say, I don't know, 4,000, 4,500 in volume. You're like, no, I've got 6,000. But because you've got all too much coming out of just one leg and it's not evenly spread out, dispersed amongst the other legs, you don't have the 5,000 required. So this is going to show you exactly that split, what is actually qualifying volume for you for that rank. All right. This is also going to show you, do you have your customers and do you have your personally sponsored people? The other thing that's here, if I'm trying to help somebody be successful here, I can put in either their name or I can put in their ID number that's in my group. And now I can call up their chart and see where they're at and what they need to do. There's other places to do that as well, but that's probably the easiest to find right there. So let's go back into where we were. All right, so here's the chart. So even if you don't get to all this, that's okay. I'm just explaining and breaking this down for you so you can. This last thing here is just what the max are going to pay out. As you know from our presentation, C12, the max is going to pay out $1 million, but each of these ranks has a limitation on it. So if you take everything we just talked about, all right, sponsor tree volume or group volume is the total of all the volume from you, your members, and their members, all right? Sponsor tree is a unilevel. You are level 1. Each personal member goes on your second level. Okay. Now remember, this is not left or right. This is just a unilevel goes across. It's very possible you have a person way over here that's on your left leg in your team commission. So don't think about legs when you're talking about sponsor tree. You're talking unilevel. All right. There's no level to this. I just had this question from a network marketer. Well, how many levels in your unilevel? No, there is no level. You can build this into infinity. That's unheard of, right? It's awesome. Yeah. Those that your personal sponsor are going to go on your third level. If you think about, and then if they sponsor is going to go on the 4th level and 5th level on down. If you think about our retail bonus, when we show that in the business plan, it talks about the 2nd level. You can get a retail bonus on the 2nd level, 3rd level, 4th level, all the way up to a 45% retail bonus. This is basically what we're kind of the way that this is laid out. All these customers are that 2nd level. You get 10% off of all these people's customers. You get 5% off of all these people's customers. You get another 5% off of all the people on the 4th level's customers. So hopefully that brings into a little bit of clarity for you as well. That retail bonus is based off of this unilevel. All right. So the way I like to think about this is an umbrella. All right. Sponsor tree is your rank. This is your sponsor tree, and all the volume that's created in here kind of is like a big umbrella that goes over the 8 ongoing ways that we're paid. All right. The other 2 were that retail fast start bonus and the business builder fast start bonus are only good for your first 28 days. These 8 are ongoing. And we have the retail bonus. We have the personal sales bonus. We have the team bonus. So as you can see, this is your sponsor tree. This is your left and right legs, your binary. It's just one way that we're paid, and how much you're paid off of it depends on your rank, which depends on your group volume and those other 4 requirements, right? Then your mentor bonus. Now, these are all paid out weekly, okay? Then we have our car, travel, and healthcare bonuses. These are all paid out monthly. And then we have our rank bonus, which is paid out one time. There you have it. So if you can understand that group volume, your sponsor tree volume, those members that you sponsor and they sponsor and their customers adds up to the volume for your group volume at the bottom of that chart, that volume number there. And then you have the other requirements. That's going to determine your rank. And your rank is going to determine how much you make from each one of those bonuses. Then these are the bonuses in the chart. Now we're up to the top part of the chart. Here's your personal customers. There's those 4th levels, right? We just talked about. And then you've got your 7 other bonuses listed here. Okay. How was that? All right. I will gladly take any questions that anybody may have. If somebody does have a question, I encourage you to raise your hand and ask it now. I'll be more than happy to address it. We can stay on here as long as you want. And if not, if you're a little shy or it comes up later, then definitely you're going to want to talk to the person that you're working with, and they can help explain it. Again, you can get into the extended comp plan. That's going to explain all those different bonuses as well as the sponsor tree bonus. And you can get a lot of information there. I just want to bring, I see Laura's got her hand up. Great. I just want to bring up one other thing and kind of bring this all home. If you get your 2 people, left and right leg, for your team bonus, you've also started your sponsor tree bonus, right? Because you got 2 people in your sponsor tree. So getting your 2 people left and right away is just so important, because you need that's going to start building up the volume into the sponsor tree as well, which is going to start increasing the rank overall. So getting those 2 people, I can't explain enough how important that is for the new person that's just getting started, to get them in and get them on the left and the right side. If they sponsor 2 people and it's 2 family members and you're keeping them together on one leg, get a 3rd person so you can get your team bonus going, and that'll just help you out a lot. Okay, so go ahead, Miss Laura, C7, Miss Laura Ruckel, and you are, yeah, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, I just wondered if you could explain to people, a lot of people have this question of how you get paid on other people in your tree that you didn't sign up.
Okay. That is that great question. And let me see the easiest place to show you that. I'll explain it as well. In the team bonus, let's see, maybe this. In the team commission here, this line of the bonus, or this line for under the prosperity plan chart, shows the team bonus. Team commissions, unlike, go back into here, maybe picture. Team commissions, remember, is different than that group volume or sponsor tree volume. Team commissions is going to add up everything on your left leg and everything on your right leg as far as the business volume, BV versus GV, group volume, which is your sponsor tree volume. This, the team bonus, is based on business volume. And business volume is going to add up everything that's going on underneath you in the team binary tree, or the binary tree. Okay, that what we call the team bonus, which is the binary tree, your left and right legs. So instance, my mom did not sponsor Scott, and she certainly didn't sponsor James because that's on Scott's inside leg. So Scott had sponsored James, and then Holly and all these other people that are underneath my mom did not sponsor. But if I go over here to commissions and I go into volumes, you can see on my mom's left side this month, there's 27,733 in volume, business volume, that's been generated from all those people that are on my mom's left leg. That's not from people my mom sponsored. So when other people bring people in underneath you, you get paid on it through the team commission. And you can see it's going to vary for my mom here. It's all over the place, right? And she's got a month here at 48,000. She's got a month here at 46,000. She's got this month right now at 27,000. And obviously the month's not over yet. So the team commission is where you get paid on the spillover, other people being put underneath you. How much money you make off of that is determined by what you do within your own group volume or your sponsor tree volume. The people, your customers, your own personal volume, the members that you sponsored, that they sponsored. In other words, it's volume that wouldn't exist unless you got started and you started building a team. That is the sponsor tree volume, which is also added into the binary tree, which is a beautiful thing. So you're almost like getting paid on it twice in a way. All right. So it is beautiful on how that works. The other thing about the two-legged, the binary tree here is that if you're qualified and you have a qualified person in that leg, you have to have a qualified person in each leg in order to get paid on it. But I'm not going to get into how the team bonus pays out, but just understand that volume you have not been paid on this month will carry over to the following month. That's huge. In a lot of comp plans, everything flushes at the end of the month, and you got to start from scratch the next month. But here, the team bonus, all that volume that is put in underneath you that you had nothing to do with, you get to hold on to that volume until you're paid on it the next month. And that carries out for a full year, and it's a cycle. It's a rolling year on that volume. I'm not sure if I answered your question, Laura, but if I didn't, please go ahead and raise your hand again or unmute yourself and ask.
No, you're good. It was great. Thank you so much, Guy.
Okay, great. Danya, let's see. We got Danya. Would you go ahead and unmute yourself and please ask your question?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, first of all, again, thank you so much for doing this. It's been a while and I'm still learning a lot. So I appreciate that. And this may be another strategy, but for those of us who have been around and understand that, Brad and you both speak about playing team first with regards to the legs. Can you explain that?
Can you just so I understand correctly what you're at, Danya, we just lost you. Okay. Oh, no, we didn't. There you are. Can you just explain what you mean? Give me an example of, I think I understand, but I don't want to just ramble on and I'm not answering your question. Can you just be a little bit more specific?
Yeah, can you still hear me? Because I actually
Yes.
went back
Yeah.
out. Okay. So Brad talks about always make sure that you're playing team first. So if you are, I'll just say left and right, if you're already on the left side because you don't want to lose volume, business volume, then make sure that you're placing people on that left side first. And then you secure your right side with the other team members, which would be your lesser leg.
Okay. That's what I thought you were getting at. Let me, there is a video, a training video. It's on the Verb app, I believe. It's definitely on the CILI Telegram channel. It's on, we have it available for our boards. It's on my CILI Guy channel. And this gentleman, it's about a 4-minute video that he talks about how to build a binary. He's talking about building the outside left and the outside right. And what he's saying in there is play team first. What he means is, in general, what you want to do is put 2, 3 people. In the Business Builder Fast Start bonus, Brad's going to talk about putting 2 people down your common leg. That's what Donnie's referring to as the team leg, meaning the common leg, meaning where you're attached to the people above you. If you don't know what that is, get with the person that sponsored you. They'll be able to explain it to you, or where you're at. Left or right leg is your common leg. All right. So your common leg is where you generally want to put people first. And that's what Johnny's talking about, playing team first, because these are team members that you may or may not know, you may or may not be associated with because of the spillover. Other people are putting people in underneath you. And you want to play team first by sponsoring people in that common leg before you sponsor people on your non-common leg, what I call the inside leg, your personal inside, your right leg, if you would, in this situation. All right. So let's say your left leg is your common leg. All right. You want to put 3 people down that left leg in that training video. The way Brad talks about it in the Business Builder Fast Start, you would put your 2 people down that left leg, the common leg, the team leg, because that's where other people are also sponsoring people. And then in this instance, your right leg, which is your non-team leg, it is your personal responsibility leg that nobody's going to get there unless you put them there. And then the people that you put there and you put there and you put there, or they put there, or they put there, that is your, in this case, your right leg. And then you put 2 people down there. All right. If everybody follows this philosophy, they get started, they put 3 people down that common leg first, playing team first, then they start building their other leg. If you duplicate that out, if everybody's doing that, then that common leg starts taking on a life of its own, because people are putting people in underneath. Everybody's putting those 3 people in right away on that left leg. As you're bringing more people on, then they're putting 3 people on, and that leg just keeps growing and growing and growing. That's where you get the quote unquote power leg, or a runaway leg, a running leg. There's all different kinds of terminology for it. We call it a common leg. And then on the inside leg, teach that to your people. And as they come on and they're each putting 2, 3 people down that common leg first, now your other leg starts to take on a life of its own. So Donnie, did that kind of, I know you looked like you might have dropped off there, but did that answer your question? That was a really good question, by the way.
Yes, and then this gets into more strategy, but then if we're then asking people to start with their first 2 people on their left and their right, then so that we can make sure that they're getting that check and
Yes.
getting that, then do you want to start that strategy with that?
Yes.
Is that what you're
That would be
suggesting?
that is strategy. You're right. And that is my recommendation. That's what I'm teaching our people. Again, work with I'm not speaking for all the different teams out there, right? So you definitely want to work with the people that you're working with to see what they want you to do, what their strategy is in building out a binary. I am not saying that this is the only way to do it, because it's not. But I highly recommend getting that team commission check so that they start building belief. And then, yes, Don, you start with the 3 people down the common leg, 3 more people down the their non-common leg or their pay leg, however you want to call it, and build from there. So good point. I mean, if you, and it also depends on who are we talking about. If I'm talking to a network marketer that's coming over with a team of 500 or 1,000 people, it's a totally different story. If I'm talking to a brand new person that's never been in network marketing whatsoever, I don't want to start teaching strategies and everything else. I just want to help them make a check. I want to help build their belief. And then from there, we can start getting into the strategy of building the left and right side. So hopefully that's my philosophy on it. Again, I encourage you to work with or get with the person that you're working with and what they like to do as well.
Yeah, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no, that's perfect. And then that also would help out when you were talking about, that split, as like you said, because it could be a runaway leg, and then you get into that situation as you were mentioning with Daniel and Davide and Sarah and all of that. But
well, actually,
I get it.
Actually,
I don't want to get too deep. And I know this is just for everybody so that we understand that. But then I know that that was also another question that I just wanted to clarify in my head when you talk about playing team first and where you put, people on there first, and then also so that you're not losing business volume if you don't have somebody underneath that other leg.
Okay. And to clarify, in order to be a C2, you do have to have one on the left and one on the right. Okay, that's in the extended comp plan. I actually went back to read it just to make sure. But to be C2, you do have to be team qualified, which means one on the left, one on the right. You could be C10 and only have one person on one leg. You could have one person on the left leg and be a C10 or a C5 or a C6. You're not making anything off the team bonus, right? But you've got a runaway leg and you've got 10 people sponsored down there. And you've got the split, right? Because the sponsor tree doesn't care about left and right legs. So you can have a runaway leg and only have one person sponsored on the other leg and make rank. The thing you can't do is make money from what? The one bonus, the team bonus, because you don't have any volume on the other leg to get paid on. This is why somebody like Sarah, and I'm not trying to call her out or anything, but she's got a runaway leg, right? With Daniel, Davide, Martin, these three people that have earned over $1 million. And then her other leg is not going as well. She is not making as much money as them, even though she's above, because her other team bonus is not paying out like their team bonuses is paying out. So not to try to confuse everybody, I just want to understand, please. And that's why you want to separate left and right leg of the team bonus from group volume. It's two different aspects of our comp plan. So you can have huge rank and very little team bonus volume because the team bonus is concerned about the left and right legs only. That's all it cares about. And the volume that's coming out total, all the volume, like Laura was asking, that's coming out of your left leg, all the volume that's coming out of your right leg, that's going to determine how much money you make from the one bonus, the team bonus. How you make rank is from the sponsor tree. The sponsor tree does not care about left and right. It just cares about the volume coming out from those individual columns of the people that you sponsored. So actually, it was a great segue for me to re-foot stomp this point and helping people understand that the split has nothing to do with left and right legs. It is just to do with those columns from the sponsor tree. So good. All right. Thank you for asking that question. Anybody else? I appreciate everybody that's hung on. There's still quite a few people, so that's wonderful. Hopefully this clarified some things for you as well. And if it raised some more questions for you, then great. That means there's real learning happening here. If you've got a question or if this isn't super clear, that's great because now there's something that we can have a further on discussion with. All right. I don't see any other hands. I'll give it another second. And so I'm wishing everybody a wonderful weekend.